Youth Emotion presents Burgundy Life, episode 3. Today we're going to talk about marijuana. My name's Bernie. We got special guests.
Lionel from Bump.
Karim from Montreal.
Okay.
Michael from Youth Emotion.
Alright.
Jason from around the world.
Okay.
Well said.
Okay, so the first topic we want to talk about today will be like mental health and mental illness. Like, how do you guys feel about marijuana and mental health? Do you have anything to say? How do you feel about that?
Well, I do know that like marijuana doesn't affect people the same way.
Okay.
Some people can smoke and be functional, go to work, be fine, be great. Others that already have conditions, predetermined conditions like schizophrenia, like certain people smoke marijuana and then it unleashes their delirium, I guess.
Okay.
So, from my experience, I know that marijuana doesn't affect people the same way, and people with mental illnesses, it amplifies it in certain cases.
Okay.
Bon, ben, pour moi, c'est clair que la marijuana peut jouer un rôle dans la santé mentale. Que plus on a une santé mentale fragile, plus on a des risques de développer des maladies comme la schizophrénie et tout en fumant de la marijuana. Mais si tu mets le topic de la marijuana sur la place, pour moi, c'est pas pourquoi on parle de marijuana, pourquoi on diabolise la marijuana, pourquoi on fait toute ça de campagne contre la marijuana, alors que pour l'alcool qui a déjà causé tellement de morts, on n'en a pas fait autant.
Cigarette aussi.
Et la cigarette. Et un dernier point, comment on n'a pas parlé de la marijuana de façon écologique, parce que tu peux utiliser la marijuana pour remplacer le plastique, en utilisant le chanvre, pour confectionner des vêtements. Alors quand on parle de marijuana, on parle de beaucoup de choses.
Anyone want to add to that? No.
Well, yeah, I mean, the relation in terms of health.
But it does have positive aspects, you think? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we all agree. You just named the chanvre as to how you say that in English. The chanvre. Basically, yeah, marijuana is used for many things, many things. So from me, I also find, like Lionel, that it's diabolized too much for the last more than 100 years. It's been criminalized, so you don't change mentalities overnight. The people that support marijuana or the people that actually do not support marijuana also have harsh feelings against it. So, and you don't change mentalities overnight. You're not because it just became the law. Health-wise, so the big debate right now is around at what age. Right now, the law says you're 18, you can smoke.
They want to move it to 21.
21 in Quebec. It's at 19 in Ontario. We do recognize that the development of your cells and brain cells and everything of a young adult is not complete at that age. I think we all agree with that. So can marijuana, obviously for the people that are very vulnerable, like you said, chances of schizophrenia or chances of mental illnesses are will rise up much more, especially if the strength of the THC in the marijuana, which is the ingredient that if it's very powerful, the THC, that's when obviously the marijuana is strong. But the debate is rapidly as the minister of la CAQ that is submitting his law to bring it up to 21. He actually wants to open the debate on alcohol and tobacco also.
You mentioned that.
And then Legault said no. So he's a real doctor. Obviously, he doesn't smoke nothing, and he believes in a corset dans un esprit sain, which I got no qualms. But my thing, and I'll leave it. Maybe it'll open up to more discussion. Me, I would keep it at 18, for the reason that they're gonna go on the illegal market if you don't. If you ask people,
but that's the next question. But do you think that?
Well, I'll just bring it and then you can bring it. Meaning, I'll just complete saying, 18 years old. When you do a crime, you go to big people's jail. When you go to, you can buy alcohol at 18, tobacco obviously also. So what's the difference?
How do you feel about like people buying from the street versus like people buying from the SQDC? Like, do you think people are still willing to give the money to the government, or do you feel that that people are gonna want to hold the money back? Or?
Well, what I personally think is that sometimes when you buy from the streets, they can lace it with different things. You know, they can lace it with things that make you even go crazier than maybe if you had bought it at a SQ. And to join back to what Michael was saying, I wanted to do a parallel with guns. Like in the States, people say, well, why don't you just ban guns? Well, if you ban guns, people will have easier access to them through the black market. It's the same thing with marijuana. Kids are always going to find ways to get it, even if there is an age limit, you know? So maybe, I don't know, having the SQ would be a better alternative, I guess? I don't know.
Because some people lace it with fentanyl like they do with cocaine. So.
Exactly.
Ok, like, for real. Mais moi, ce que je pense là, c'est que c'est pas rentable de lace de la marijuana avec de la cocaïne. C'est deux choses qui sont tellement différentes. Tu vas perdre de l'argent. Deuxièmement, c'est une question économique pour le gouvernement. Tu vois, comme le gambling avant était illégal, ils l'ont rendu légal puis c'est eux qui le contrôlent. C'est une question économique. C'est juste pour moi me dire que c'est de foutre de notre gueule, de dire qu'un produit qui était illégal, que tout le monde se procure assez facilement, oui, que la dose de THC est très forte, c'est juste de le mettre aux mains de ceux qui ont le pouvoir de distribuer à d'autres, c'est tout. C'est juste de changer les mains de ceux qui ont le pouvoir et de nous contrôler encore plus. C'est pas dans notre avantage, c'est pas pour notre bien, c'est simplement pour nous contrôler encore plus. Ça, c'est mon opinion personnelle.
Do you feel the same way, Michael?
Absolutely.
It's all about the dollar?
It's all about the economics and how the hypocrisy of the system of one, as I said, you know, 1 minute it was like evil, the most evil thing.
Yeah.
That's why I say you don't change the mentalities overnight, and now just for the benefit of very few, and it happens that it's mainly white new entrepreneurs that have got money that we know from fiscal islands and so on. From fiscal paradise. So totally. I pretty much see it the same way as you.
And to add on what Karim was saying, if you look at the 60s, for example, cocaine was practically legal. Everybody was doing it. It was great.
Quincy Jones.
Till the government put a control on it, and it's like, okay, as long as, like Karim was saying, if the government can put their hands on something,
it was earlier on though.
They'll make it seem legitimate when it's really not.
You're right about that, but it's a little earlier on in time, at the beginning of the 20th century. Everyone, big time.
Even Einstein, Einstein.
Exactly. It was the beginning of the century. Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Don't forget they used to put cocaine in Coca-Cola initially.
For workers, yeah.
So until about the 30s, I think it was what you said, and then they demonized it again.
Yeah.
So they can take it. I'm sorry.
And Jason, you're the young one on the panel, all right? So I want to ask you quickly, like, how do you feel? Do you think that it's safe now? Are you willing to try marijuana more? And how old are you?
15.
Okay, 15.
Mommy's kind of
So how do you feel?
Well, I feel like people usually try it out just because they think that since it's free, that you should take advantage of it, but I think not really. And when I learned that it makes you lose brain cells, and there's a lot of negative effects, but I will also say there is positive effects. Example, doctors could give you a prescription if you need it, but
Cancer.
people, all that kind of stuff, but yeah.
Glaucoma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, but you're not more willing to try it, or?
Mm-mm.
Okay, but do you think now that you'll have easier access because like the store's right there?
Not for 3 years.
Not for 3 years.
It's just gonna get into a lot minimum, and with like that, we don't know if it's not.
Okay, so now
That's good.
Yeah, that's very good, Jason. And so now moving on to the police. How do you think the police are? How do you feel like the police are equipped to deal with it? And for the people who are incarcerated, do you think that like they should be free now that it's legal?
Well, I know that the police used to arrest people in the past when they had too much, but now I think that maybe around like my age, if you had it, they could do something about it, because you're under 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That makes more sense.
Well, for me, I used to smoke weed, okay? Quand j'ai grandi dans le quartier,
How old do you know?
I'm 24. Okay? Started smoking weed, that's why I was 12. 13, 14. Je fumais du pot dans les ruelles, avec tous les amis, on est là dans le quartier. Et basically, la police J'ai déjà entendu plein d'histoires de la police que ils trouvent du buzz puis ils le prennent pas, ou genre ils doivent fumer un joint puis ils te laissent tranquille. C'était déjà comme. Tu sais, la police faisait pas grand chose avec le pote. Il y a plein de gens que je connais qui fument, qui conduisent. C'est comme, c'est une culture. Je veux dire, maintenant que la police fait ça, déjà qu'il y a du profilage racial, c'est sur qui vont arrêter pour ça? Comment ils vont faire pour savoir qui fume, qui fume pas? C'est juste une raison de plus pour arrêter déjà des gens qui ont de la pression en minorité. On a vu qu'un rapport de Saint-Michel qui a vraiment beaucoup de profilage racial là-bas. Qu'est-ce que tu fais à une population? Comment tu fais pour savoir si les gens fument? Tu te bases sur quel... Je sais pas, bon, honnêtement, comment tu fais?
Il regarde les lèvres, sûrement.
See, you have black lips, yeah.
Comme je dis, c'est n'importe quoi. Ça fait pas de sens. Tu peux pas passer des lois comme... Ça fait même pas de sens, ça.
Et puis, tu sais, pour rejoindre ce que tu dis, Karim, j'ai entendu des histoires des policiers qui fument eux-mêmes de la marijuana. Tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Yeah.
Genre, il y a des policiers qui le font. Donc, c'est genre, ils diabolisent ceux qui le font, mais parce que eux ils ont le badge, c'est genre.
Michael, how do you feel about the landlords and like you see like you have a landlord where you live, like how do you feel that the landlord should react? Should they change? Should they, do you live in a smoking house? Or, like are you allowed to smoke in your building, or is the landlord says no?
Well, yeah, that's a delicate matter, and in very delicate matter from one proprietor, from one owner to the next. And if it's a co-op or condos is really off limit. The more it's costly, the more restriction they
Even
put
growing
on.
in
So
the house.
in my case, it's not a problem. I happen to have the owner of the house has had his thing with the holy herb, with the sacred herb, as we call it, Rasta. So yeah, well, that, as you said, there's another side to it too, because. And as I was sharing, so it really varies for, just to answer, apartment. Most apartments, they won't tolerate it because it infiltrates through the walls and everything. But as I was saying, the way the way they control it, the way they're trying to bring it to the people, and so on, is not the way in our relationship with that plant. It's not really the same. Like many drugs. What I mean to say is that we don't love it like they do. We don't love it just to make money, even though many of our brethren have made money throughout the time illegally. But the way that I bring it now is a total different level. We're talking about billions of dollars. And marijuana's at the stock market. So if you got a bill right now that's suggesting that the people cannot even smoke in public space, that's what he's thinking. Where are you gonna smoke?
That's my next question. Do you guys think there should be pot cafes like in Amsterdam?
Well, of course. Well, where do you want us to smoke? You can't smoke inside your house. You can't smoke outside. And it's fucking winter, bro.
So you think we should get pot cafes like Amsterdam? That makes the most sense then.
That makes the most sense. There's 6 months of winter here. Nobody can fool that. Everybody knows. 6 months of winter.
Half of your life is winter.
Yeah, half of your life is winter. So where do you want those people to smoke weed?
That's true.
That makes no sense, you know?
So you think they should get cafes?
They should have
You
cafes.
see, it might make their interventions even more convoluted because people are always going to try to find ways to smoke in the streets. And where are they going to, like we were saying, where are they going to go, you know? Like, they can't do it in their place. They can't do it on their balcony. I mean, unless you live somewhere that's isolated from neighbors or something, but not everyone has the same living situation.
Yeah, because everybody's like, okay, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. But what can I do? At the end, what's my right?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Okay, so you can buy weed, but you can't smoke on the street. You can smoke in around, but you can still buy weed. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like an arbitrary law.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. And what do you think about growing it yourself? You think everyone should be allowed to grow it themselves, or do you think that should be off limit, or
Well, I think
for society and
for the little I know, I think that it's kind of like a gun permit. Certain people go through a process and then they get a license. I think that certain people have the license to grow. I think that once you have a license, it's okay. I think, but I don't know. I'm not really too familiar with that. But if you get a certification, I'm pretty sure that you should be able to.
Well, again, go ahead, Jason.
So yeah.
We know in Quebec you're not allowed to have, Trudeau's law is you're allowed to up to 4 plants at home. In Quebec, so far, you're not allowed to grow at home. I think it would be, why not? Not everybody likes to go to these whatever they're called, society. I mean, it's debatable because it takes a lot of energy, a lot of hydro. You need a lot to do it properly and everything. A lot of landlords will not allow it. If you have the land and if you got the house where you can have your own little greenhouse, why not? But I mean, just in an apartment downtown. I mean, some people have done it.
Yeah,
when it
some
was
people have
illegal.
done
So.
it,
And I wanted to add something also that's actually kind of interesting is that like if you look at in the pharmaceutical industry, look at all the drugs they have put out like Oxycontin on painkillers, fentanyl.
Yeah.
How many people have died throughout the year on those legal products over marijuana? I'm pretty sure that people who've had legal drugs have died over people who smoked marijuana, whether it's legally or illegally.
Well, even alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, even alcohol. Well,
Yeah.
we sure do have. On a un problème. On a un problème que le gouvernement nous fait penser que la marijuana c'est le diable ou je sais pas, quelque chose de très très dangereux comparé à toutes les drogues qu'eux-mêmes font.
Because they weren't able to make money, but now
Yeah.
they realize they're able to make money.
So they're changing their
The ways, you know,
story.
ils ont fait beaucoup de recherches qui disaient la marijuana peut faire ça. C'est
Ah
comme
oui.
si tu fumes, c'est quasiment t'as pas le droit de conduire parce que c'est après 5 heures. So, un
Ouais.
policier peut avoir un faux test, t'es dans la merde, ça fait pas de sens.
You know what the police said though? Here's what they said in Canada. Police will use roadside sobriety tests. Others will use roadside saliva tests. But most will be given a blood test. Refusing any will be a crime. The RCMP said they don't have the ability to do blood tests yet.
No, they don't.
They don't.
Probably
So
Not
when,
the resources.
so when they stop you on the side of the street,
or even the charter human. I think it even goes. You could contest that in the courts. That
Well, I think
Very
with all the
easily.
contestants, because they're gonna have enough, they're gonna
Yeah,
have to
it's
change
coming.
the law.
exactly.
They're gonna have to change it because you'll see like a bunch of black people like yeah.
and the blood test, you don't get the result before 3-4 weeks down
Yep.
the road.
Exactly. So they can have you in jail for 3-4 weeks and then be wrong.
No.
They keep you there for 4 weeks and sorry.
Yo,
You
my
actually
man,
lose
I
your
was just
license.
tired, man. My
Because
eyes were red.
you can actually lose your license. Like it says, if you're tested positive, your license is revoked on the spot.
Yeah, it's like alcohol.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm always.
They treat them the smoking and driving.
Even in the
like,
States, it's not like that. If you get a DUI, you don't. Well, I mean, anyway, that's.
It's not the state.
But what Karim was saying is very true. It's very. How do you determine if a person's high or not if he's driving? Like you could be tired, you could be sleepy. I don't know. But a blood test, like it could like show, like that you've consumed marijuana. Like you could have consumed it 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
And it would
did-
still show.
It would still show.
mhm,
So
that's the problem.
it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
So you
That's
just
a
if
blood
you
test
smoke, you
only.
can drive. So you're not
And the
driving
blood
alone.
test, he needs to take you somewhere. He can't do a blood test there
On the
right
spot.
at
Exactly.
minus
Yeah.
20 in the middle of winter.
Exactly.
We didn't get this needle, bro.
Exactly. On a final thought though, like this is the final thought for me, I think that you gotta be careful what you ask for. Like people wanted this, and now that it's here, it's not what you want. So
But-
like always be careful.
We never really asked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, many of us are happy to not, if you have a couple of joints and everything, that you won't get harassed as much. So, you can look at it. But I remember speaking with you, Bernie, many times. I remember when Jamar was here, he was all excited because he was thinking of making big money. Now we're seeing actually all the ones that invested into it. It's not so.
Yeah.
First of all, there's a lack of good marijuana.
It's only the government. It's only the government.
So,
It's not private. It's not privatized like in Ontario. Ontario does some
but
private.
they haven't even started in Ontario. They're starting in the spring.
Yeah, they're doing it
Private
through mail.
health.
Private in
So,
the mail.
Damn.
all I'm saying is like they anyway, I lost my thought, but must be high.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Jason? Any of you guys? Something final you want to say about?
I wanted to try, the low THC, the low one, the almost medical one. I just wanted to try, but I look at this, I'm like, it's bullshit.
The good one, yeah, the good ones like in the 20s, 20%, and the ones that aren't good are
Because
like
I heard they even rip you off. You buy 3.5, you got 3 grand, bro.
C'est ça. Ouais,
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're like the dealers trying to jump you.
They rip you off and you can't say no, you can say yo, what's
Because
up?
because
But
it's
I
already
wanted to
prepackaged.
ask, Lionel, before you mentioned something about, in terms of the quality, and that's what they use, eh? Yeah, the quality is controlled. Now we hear that sometimes they give you, well, maybe you know when the weed is kind of fresh, it weighs a certain thing, so they put it in there, so you know we can lose
2 months.
weight.
Yeah, you lose weight.
It's in there for the
So
package of 2
there's
months
that
before.
too. But the point I wanted to make is that I also defend the point that the little man, and you know what I'm talking when I say the I that have been juggling, also making ends meet by obviously distributing, selling. When it was illegal and now that it's legal, why cut him out? Because he been wiped out, and I have a problem with that because in a way they've been the most supportive of the cause, and now they're totally, because they're criminals. They're not supposed to be involved, even though we're learning that when you have company. Well, I'm not going nowhere. It's just to say that myself, first of all, these boutiques, a nice boutique for marijuana, you would see like, you'd see California, a nice boutique. That's what I go when you sit down like a cafe.
They have it more like a doctor's
but
office.
the way they have it up there, anyway.
It's like a doctor's office.
So all I'm saying is that I'm still in favor of seeing the government allowing more private little boutiques to open up and to not just shut off the little man that often is part of our community.
And taking the risks.
And has taken a risk, and now that could make a legit thing, even though I'd like the government to even take their tax or whatever, but let these people live off of that if they choose that's what they want to do.
You know, my final thought to add on to what Michael was saying, there should be a transition for those people who were selling their whole life, and they should be able to get a job through this legalization of marijuana.
And not allowed.
Because they're criminals.
They're not allowed.
They're considered criminal.
When they think of the little man that we know, that just is a buddy of yours, you know, the little man that come to our house, he ain't no Hell's Angel, but that's what they see. They see it. A mafia, Italian mafia, Hell's Angels are criminalisé. But that little man that come to you, maybe he has ramification out there, you know.
But he ain't that.
He ain't?
He ain't that.
No, he ain't that.
He ain't that.
So, there's
something to be taken into consideration.
You think it's a government? Like, come on.
They're not gonna really change. Right now they don't want to see themselves. They've invested so much. They're gonna clamp down, like you guys said. Whether it's you driving with it, whether all kinds of ways. I don't know how they're gonna go after younger people. Are you 18? Are you 21? All of that. How are they gonna know?
That's it.
Bernie was telling me actually that if we don't buy it, let's say if I don't buy it at La S whatever Société de SDQ, and they find me just with the, you know, like just in a plan, that they could arrest me for that.
Yeah.
That don't make. I don't know if that's true, but that don't make no sense to me.
But they
because
actually
even
think
the
it's
keeping in that little thing, we just heard that it dehydrates, it loses.
It makes
thing.
it lose.
So I would have take it out even though. So I would have put it because it's better in a plastic thing. So, but according, I don't know.
I wanted to add something. I was talking to somebody who's a marijuana smoker, and he was telling me that he went to the SDQ to buy to try the marijuana. And what he decided to do is, he says he would just get weed from the streets and just add it in the pot that they get from the SDQ. So the cops
someone told you?
Yeah. And I was like,
no way.
I mean, they're not gonna open it and test the. Like,
but you know how they make it look like? They make it look like it's legal for one set of people and it's still illegal for another set of people.
Yeah.
There'll still be profiling due to that. I'm guaranteeing.
And we used to, all throughout the year with Jamal, I used to say, guys, for us there, it don't change much. Be discreet, no matter how, you know, don't go. See, so that's when I say we don't love it like they do. How many black people you see at 420? You don't see many.
Because they're smart.
And also, yes, because they're smart, because they're black, and they know that they don't want to be. They don't, because the police go check.
They don't do it for fashion, really.
We don't do it for fashion. We don't want to be baited up. But you see, that's my rhetoric when I say we don't love it the same way. But for years, but it's their petition of doing 420 that has also made that Trudeau eventually change the laws.
Yeah.
Because if it's us just doing it underground, nothing would have changed. I
Very
don't
true.
think so.
It's very true.
Because they make more money with the blackies. Sorry, my expression, but keeping us in the judicial system with lawyers and jail time and everything. But now they saw that too many people love smoking weed, you know. So that's when things change and they can see, oh, it's better. Legalize it, we can make more money, they think.
And then every guy that was incarcerated who were doing life sentences, my bad. My bad. I was wrong, my bad. I'm sorry, man.
Wow.
That was a healthy discussion. I appreciate you guys coming through.
No problem.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Bernie.
You're welcome, and yeah, have a good day.
But okay.
You want to say anything?
Well, no,
You can
I
say.
wanted. It's always good to know that we're at Youth Emotion and let the word of the youth after what you've just heard.
You
What
got
would
the last word, Jay.
Oui, ça sera bien.
Well, after what I heard,
Oui.
well, I learned a lot of stuff, speaking and listening. I heard that example. By 21 now they're changing the law. You could have a authorized. What is it?
You need to be 21.
To be 21 to
That's
start
what they want to pass.
taking weed and all that kind of stuff.
It'll be contested eventually. When someone gets arrested, he might go to court and we'll see what happens. But yeah, they want the law's not passed yet, but they want to protect. Actually, it's a black man, Karim. He's a doctor, but he's rigid, very rigid. No, I have to say it. You know, il don't comme taillon, tu sais, longueuil, puis tout ça c'est.
Oh, and also, sorry, we seem to forget, like, look, even some of the most powerful men in the world, look at Obama. He consumed marijuana. You know what I mean?
Clinton, name it.
Everybody. So I think that.
Snoop Dogg.
Yo, Snoop Dogg is an abuser.
But I think that, like, just knowing that men of power even resort to smoking marijuana.
Bill Clinton.
Exactly.
That's what.
Well, the men of power is still human, no?
Exactly.
They're still human. They have power. They just smoke.
Well, that's why they legalize it in a way, because they see it's just too many people that like. So.
And this reveals the power of the government. If one day they decided to legalize, let's say, crystal meth, everyone would actually find it normal. They would be like, okay, I'll take some.
Yeah.
And they will find it normal.
That's dangerous. Wow. But you're totally right.
Like Jason's kids are
In a
gonna
certain
grow up
way.
and think marijuana is normal. So you go to the store, you get marijuana.
Yeah, the
It's
next
like you go buy
generation
beer.
coming up.
It's like you go buy beer.
Yeah, that's true, man. And that's what I tell
And
my
again,
dog.
our relationship, us with marijuana, in many instances, is not one just a party.
As if
Many of us don't. You see how they fill up the hospitals from morning to night, buying pills. You know, c'est un centre d'achat de médicaments, les pharmacies. Ben, moi, je sais que j'utilise pas de pilule, mais un joint, c'est comme, it's my form of therapy. So again, it's a different relation. We don't necessarily use it to go and party and all of that.
I agree, totally agree. And you mentioned it before. It's like a spiritual connection.
Also, it can be therapeutical, sometimes spiritual, creative. Some people like to take it to sleep, to relax to sleep. Can it confuse you? It can.
Some people say marijuana is essential for the spiritual enlightenment.
I believe that.
You see what I mean? So. Yeah, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Hopefully we do another one soon.
Alright.
What's the name of this show, by the way?
Burgundy Live.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. I like
Burgundy
that.
Live. Youth Emotion presents Burgundy Live.
With that topic, we need to